Important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com. pbhnphysiciangroup.com to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Hey, this is Evan Cohen. Listen to Unsportsmanlike with me, along with Michelle Smallman and Chris Canty, weekdays 6 a.m. here on ESPN 106.3.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Unsportsmanlike.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
There's a couple guarantees in life. There's death, taxes, Jimmy Butler having a poor relationship with management. What is this, trial number 4? That Jimmy Butler is now complaining via indirectly, directly, whatever you chalk it up as, that he is unhappy with the Heat, Pat Riley, whatever you want to chalk it up as. He wants out of the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler wants out once again. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Hope everybody's having a fantastic afternoon here. Got you from 4 to 6 today on the 3rd of January in 2025. Second show of the new year. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat helping us out as always. We are live on ESPN 106.3 on your radio dial. We're also live on ESPN West Palm on Twitter, or X, Facebook, and YouTubes. If you want to see our pretty faces, we are streaming live there. Miss any of the show, of course, Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I cannot say I'm surprised, but everybody thought that Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat was a match made in heaven. The big problem with Jimmy Butler in the previous spots was bad relationships with the coaches, didn't get paid enough. All of a sudden he gets to Miami. Miami pays him. They see success. He's a hard-nosed guy, hard-nosed player. Miami, hard to complain. Now he wants out again. I have a hard time sympathizing with Jimmy Butler the 4th time around. Let's call it like I see it. Heat fan or not. I have a hard time sympathizing with his unhappiness and him finding the joy in basketball again. As he went to the media saying he has a tough time finding the joy in basketball again. Pat Riley was very public last week in saying the Miami Heat are not trading, set it in stone, not trading Jimmy Butler after the rumors spurred about. Shams Charania of the ESPN and NBA Insider came out again and doubled down on his previous report saying Jimmy Butler wants out. Lock it in. Him and Brian Windhurst of ESPN as well. He wants out. We know he wants out. Make a trade for him. Somebody, somehow, some way, get Jimmy Butler out of Miami.
And
for me, hard time to sympathize.
A lot of the times, Colin, they have wish lists on where they want to go.
Yeah, just like the 4 best teams in the league.
Right. But this time around, Butler doesn't have a wish list. He just simply wants out. And I kind of think this diminishes his trade value a little bit.
Well, there's no leverage.
That's what I mean. He wants out, and that's clear. But he did say he was going to practice. He did say he was going to play in games, but he turns into a giant distraction. So I'm interested to see how the Heat handle this now. Are they going to play him? How much are they going to play him? I think they have to play him because you have to prove that he could still do it. And that's what I'm worried about with him as well. He's 35 years old. And 2 years ago, and the missed three-pointer in transition in Boston, Colin, 2 years is a long time in the NBA. This is a league where it's the wear and tear of your body. And I was talking to Theo Dorsey, our host at Theoretically Speaking, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. He already doesn't want to play in regular season games. And then he goes out last year, barely plays in the regular season, goes out and gets hurt in the playoffs, and he's unavailable in the playoffs. So I think when if you're a team right now that's looking to trade for Jimmy Butler, number one, are you worried about the age? And number two, I think the age goes along with it. But number two, the health. Is he going to be healthy for a championship run? And then finally, number three, to what you said to start the show, is he going to be a distraction when he gets to the team? Is he going to create it about himself? Is there going to be the narrative that I need to get my buckets and I need to get the ball? You think he'd want to go to a championship kind of caliber team? But I was a little surprised when Shams and Brian Windhurst and whoever came out and said he doesn't necessarily have a wish list. It just sounds like he wants to get the hell out of Dodge.
Well, the initial report came out that it was floated that he was somewhat interested a couple weeks ago, in which Jimmy Butler's agent actually outwardly denied it. And then Shams Charania of the ESPN had to cover his sources and also said, I am 100% sure in my sources. So there was a bit of a media war there. And the wish list that came out then, this was weeks ago, was teams like Houston, Golden State, the Phoenix Suns, teams like that. And now it's come out to the point, I think the relationship is so irreparable that Jimmy Butler said, I'm willing to play anywhere. I'm willing to go anywhere. I'm willing to do anything I can to get out of this team, out of this franchise. Now, they're at a bit of a crossroads. You think about the NBA now, the player controls the narrative, the player controls the move. If he wants out, he can get out. That was Jimmy Butler a number of times. If he wants out, I will find my way out. Bradley Beal took him 2 seasons, but got his way out. Kevin Durant, when he wants out, can get out. James Harden, when he wants out, can get out. That's Russell Westbrook, when he wants out, he could get out. The NBA player has so much power based on the amount of money they're making and the suitors that will come out of the ashes to try to trade for him. This is different. The Heat are a no-nonsense organization. Pat Riley is a no-nonsense guy. Now, is he going to keep him out of spite, out of proving a point?
Right. And if he does trade him, is he going to trade him to, no offense, Colin, to a team like the Hornets?
And from that perspective, why would the Hornets go trade for him? Jimmy Butler is 35 years old. He is a free agent after this year.
And that's something I wanted to bring up, too. Who's going to offer him that max contract of $113 million at 35 years old? He has a player option next year for $50-something million. And Colin, who's giving him? That's my question. My big question to NBA teams out there. You're going to give Jimmy Butler, a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler, who already has proven he can't stay healthy the last couple of years, $113 million over 2 years? Come on, mate. Well, that's just not that's not good business, right?
One thing about Butler is he's relatively consistent in a couple things. Number one, he's not going to play the entire regular season. He's not going to play to the top of his ability in the regular season. He'll give you 60 games, ceiling it around 65. He's played 70 games plus once in his career. It was all the way back in Chicago. And maybe his second year. But he's not going to play the whole season. He's not going to give you 80 games. Who does nowadays? Fair.
Right.
But he's a great postseason performer. He's a great elevator of the teams around him. He was with Miami, and he had a tremendous amount of success with Miami, partially because Miami matched the mold that Jimmy Butler is as a player. Hard-nosed, postseason riser, a big game player. That's Miami. That's the Heat. Now, I have a problem with how Jimmy Butler has coordinated this. Think back to how he did Chicago. He had problems. He was great under Tibbs. Problems with Hoiberg. He's out. They didn't want to pay him. Then he goes to Minnesota. All of a sudden, Minnesota's too soft. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't work hard enough.
He was playing on the second. Sorry to butt in, but he was playing on the second team.
On the second team, and these guys are phonies and wimps. Get me out of here. All right, it goes to Philadelphia. Guys in Philadelphia. Now, that one's a little bit more foggy. Nobody knows if they wanted to pay him. Go get Tobias Harris instead. They postseason up and downs. Didn't know if he wanted to deal with Embiid. That's a whole other thing. Get me out of there. All right, I'm going to Miami. Now he's in Miami. You think this is home. They gave him the money he wanted. They play him. They don't ask a ton out of him in the regular season. Who's the common denominator in all this? It's not the franchises. It's Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is the common denominator in all of these problems with management, coaches, or front office. So he's finally with the one guy who does not get pushed around in Pat Riley, who has won championships with multiple franchises, who has succeeded at every level of basketball that he has probably been at. And this is the one guy who let he got LeBron out of there, let Wade walk, traded Shaquille O'Neal the second he saw him deteriorating. He does not care.
Right.
He will not cater to your needs. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. Jimmy Butler requesting a trade again. I don't think Miami's going to balk. I don't think Miami's going to trade him. I think Miami is going to let him walk for nothing. I think that is the right move. Let us know your thoughts. 888-760-3776. What are the Heat going to do with Jimmy Butler? I think this is a poor reflection on Jimmy Butler and his relationship with basketball teams.
Is Butler good enough to do this? I don't think he is. I don't think he's good enough to do this.
At this point in his career?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Yes. 3 years ago?
I would even say 2 years ago when he had that good playoff run. And
I mean, they're in the postseason
right.
in 2023.
Right.
So
what's their MO, Kyle? It was to make that ridiculous playing tournament that I can't stand. That's another topic for another day. And to win that and then go on a deep playoff run. We're a long time separated from that. And if the Heat get rid of Jimmy Butler, I don't know what Pat Riley's going to do. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure how you should handle this situation. But if the Heat get rid of Jimmy Butler, they now need a 1A again. Because Butler has been their 1A for a long time.
Heroes had a great year.
But don't you agree they need that superstar that's going to put them over the edge?
I think this is a little past that. I think the Heat, at this point, what are they supposed to do here? They're not going to get Butler straight up for another star. You think that the Heat, and also nowadays, some people have to understand about the NBA. This is not the NBA of 5 years ago where luxury tax doesn't matter. You could do whatever you want to indulge yourself with all these star players in these fat contracts. That it doesn't matter. The second CBA that came about gives the players a lot more opportunities to get more money, but there's aprons to the luxury tax. There's a first apron, there's a second apron. If you are past these aprons, you have very strict restrictions in terms of how much money you could send out in trades and how much you have to return in trades. The Heat are flirting around with the first apron. There are teams that Butler wants to go to that are well past the first and second apron. One of them is the Phoenix Suns. He wants to go to the Suns. What do the Suns have to give? One person, Bradley Beal, who both sides can afford, because that is basically you're trading the contracts. But the Heat do not want to pay Bradley Beal. No. I think they want the flexibility away from Jimmy Butler.
They'd have a lot, to your point, they would have, a lot of money this offseason.
They'd have a lot to play with.
Yeah, if they got rid of Butler.
It's an attractive destination.
Yep.
Miami speaks for itself. It's a great organization. It's the best coach in the NBA. I think this is a poor reflection of Butler, and I think he's going to get screwed because of it.
And I don't think the Heat culture is quote-unquote dead. I've been seeing a lot of that on X and social media. It's just I go back to them looking for that new 1A star. Butler was that guy for years. Led them to 2 NBA finals, weren't able to win those finals, but went on incredible runs and was able to carry the team. They need a new 1A star. They need to get rid of Butler, and they need to figure out who they want to bring in to be the face of that franchise. It is so star-driven in the NBA. It's been like that since I could remember 06, 07 when Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce became an entity. So you need to find that 1A star to pair around with Hero, to pair around with Adebayo. And another thing I want to bring up, too, Butler's got that style of play where he needs the ball. He kind of is like a LeBron-esque kind of player where the offense needs to go through him in order to get the best out of him. I don't know where he could go right now and demand the ball like that and be that 1A player. And this goes back to what I said in the beginning of the show. Can he even play like that anymore at 35 years old?
I have no reason to start to deny it, that this point he's still not going to be a postseason riser. Maybe that's all teams are looking for. But Jimmy Butler is not an 80-game-a-year player that he once was. He is not the type of player that will give you a strong regular season and strong postseason. He is 30. He's going to be 36 years old soon.
We saw him try to do the role player thing, right, in Philadelphia and in Minnesota.
That's part of the reason why he was out.
Exactly. He needs to be the 1A, I need the ball, offense goes through me guy.
There's also a certain point in time where Jimmy Butler has to sort of know that you're 36 years old. You cannot do that. So I think this is less about it's not about his role. It's not about how much he's getting paid.
Ego.
This is about ego. And this is about fragility. So let me get this straight, Jimmy. Minnesota was too soft, but Pat Riley tells you to toughen up and shut up and stop making a big deal out of yourself, and you want out?
This goes back to Pat Riley, as you said, old school. This guy's under contract for the rest of the year and has a $52 million player option. He's trying to get paid.
Well, hold on. This is not about a contract. Jimmy. Minnesota was so soft, and they didn't care about basketball enough and winning above all else and being hard-nosed. All of a sudden, now let's draw the line. Now we're drawing the line of what's mean and what's wants the better of the team. You don't think Pat Riley wants the better of the team? Pat Riley, of all people. You don't think he cares about what's the good of the Heat more so than you? That was the whole reason you got out of Minnesota, and now all of a sudden we're flipping? Now, all of a sudden, Pat Riley, the relationship is irreparable. And you can say what you want about Riley and his relationship with LeBron. What difference does it make? Jimmy Butler is not LeBron.
No.
So, I don't understand. I cannot sympathize with Jimmy Butler's position here. He's gotten his money. He gets a ton of leash in terms of how much he has to apply in the regular season. And he is an excellent coach with a good team around him. Not a great team, a good team, which might be enough. I cannot deal with it.
But he wants to see himself getting the joy back playing basketball.
Which is such a stupid and lazy response.
Wherever that may be, I'm quoting, by the way.
The joy of basketball.
Let me go through this real quick. I quote, I want to see me getting my joy back playing basketball. Wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon, Butler said. I'm happy here off the court, but I want to be back to somewhat dominant. This goes back to what you said of, the Timberwolves are too soft. Does that sound like something that Jimmy Butler would say at that moment in time?
Right.
This is soft stuff.
Soft.
I want to see me getting my joy back playing basketball. That's soft, bro. That's soft.
So we have Tyler Hero's having a career year. You have good players around you, a good supporting cast, and an excellent coach in a winnable, competing. It's possible to compete in that conference. I wouldn't say it's winnable.
And they're
what are you asking for? What are you asking for? You want to get the joy back? Go average 30 on the Hornets. See how much you like it then. When you're winning 14 games a year. See how much you like organizational dysfunction. The Heat are not that.
There's two teams in the Eastern Conference. It's Boston and Cleveland. And New York, Orlando, Milwaukee, Miami, there's not much of a difference between all of those teams.
Well, the Knicks are better than all those teams combined.
But if you make the playoffs, you have a chance to go on a run and you have a chance to face off against a Boston or a Cleveland in the semifinals. And I'll hear you about the Knicks, tough, hard-nosed team. I like the Knicks. But my point is, the Eastern Conference isn't the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference is somewhere where you could win a playoff series. And I think Kyle Butler has proved that. He proved that in 2021, 2022, and 2023, going to 2 NBA Finals in 3 years. So I can't take that serious either, partner. I don't, and this comes down to the Miami Heat and what they want to do. And Pat Riley is the best there is. Quite frankly, I don't see how this. I don't really know what Riley is going to do. If I know Riley, he'll let him rot on the bench all year, and maybe they figure out a way to get rid of him in the offseason.
I don't think this is about...
I don't think he bows...
He's not going to bench him out of spite. He's going to play him.
But is it going to be the 20 minutes? So in the 2 games he's played, he did not play in the fourth quarter.
And then Spoelstra went post-game and said, we're putting out the best guys who are that give us the best possible chance to succeed. That was after Butler's worst game of the season. Fine. But my point is, even if the Heat wanted to get rid of him, they're going to have to jump through a mountain of logistics just to make that happen.
Right.
The Heat do not want to take bad contracts. Butler and the other teams have no leverage. Oh, you want to trade for Jimmy Butler? Well, there's no guarantee that he'd sign there, number one. And number two, he'd probably ask for a max contract. So now there's the ethicality of signing a 36-year-old Jimmy Butler to a 3-year, $50 million contract.
And quickly, it's rumored he wants a new contract as well. Is that team going to want to sign him to that max contract?
That's and on top of that, you're going to have to put together enough of a package that has enough salary in it to, I guess, match the $50 million a year that Jimmy Butler gets.
To a 35-year-old.
So that's what, 3-4 players? Right. That's 3-4 players.
You have to move money. And that's why I was texting Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike this morning about this situation. He's all fired up about it. And I brought up first-round pick trade situation. He goes, Mike, that's not how the NBA works. You got to free up the money, and you got to find a way to match the money for these contracts. And I forget that sometimes, Kyle. It's not like a team could offer 2 first-round picks and have that be it. You got to figure out the logistics side of it.
That's the logistics side. And on top of that, Riley doesn't care. Riley will watch you suffer. And it's not worth it enough to him to cater to you. And he will not show the kink in the armor to cater to you and your needs just because you are whining about either your role or your relationship with management. He does not care enough.
And fair play to him for that, because the NBA has turned into, I want out, I get moved. I don't see Pat Riley going to the
I don't either.
I don't see him going, oh, Jimmy wants out, I got to trade him. He'll play him, the 20 minutes a game and figure out the best case scenario in the offseason. That's my best guess. That's my best guess.
The Clippers just did this. Lawrence Frank, another esteemed executive in the NBA. George wanted out. They didn't really make it work. They let it go to the end of the season. They let that contract expire. Now, George is not as petty as somebody like Jimmy Butler, but they let him walk. And with that became a ton of financial flexibility where they were able to get Harden in there. They were able to get Powell under a bigger contract. They were able to maneuver a little bit to put together a team.
Right.
The Heat are going to want to do that instead of getting locked down to more contracts that they don't have interest in. Unless you put together a very spicy and very creative package, Jimmy Butler is staying put. Staying put. And I think it's a bad reflection of the power of the players in the NBA. And not only that, I think it reflects poorly. What is Jimmy Butler's legacy? What is it?
It's coming close to winning an NBA Finals with the Miami Heat 2 times.
One of them was in
the bubble. The Mickey Mouse
And the other
Cup.
one, you got dominated in, what was it, against the Nuggets?
Yeah, it was the worst NBA Finals in history.
You got dominated by the Nuggets, and you lost to the Lakers in a rec gym. That's your legacy? Your legacy is this. Your legacy is you are tough to deal with. That is the Jimmy Butler's NBA legacy. It's not on court, good player. Good player. Probably a Hall of Famer with the NBA standards. If you walk, you get in.
Everyone makes it.
You're tough to deal with. We continue onward. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. I think this reflects poorly on Jimmy Butler. I think Pat Riley is going to let him rot on that bench unless a very creative package comes to their front door. Give us your thoughts. What do you think the Heat should do with Jimmy Butler? I think it's a poor reflection on him. 888-760-3776. We continue onward. Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The South Florida Fair is almost here. Buy your advance tickets now and you can save up to 50%. Plus, if you use your discount admission ticket on opening day of the fair, you can keep it and visit the fair another day courtesy of Publix. That's 2 days of fun for the price of one.
South Florida Fair discount tickets are on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. Fair opens January 17 in West Palm Beach. South Florida Fair.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
It's 2025, which means you need to get ahead of all the NFL playoff action and plan out your weekends.
It's time to make Twin Peaks your headquarters to watch your favorite team fight through the playoffs. Whether your teams win or lose, you still end up a winner with eats, drinks, scenic views, and Twin Peaks 29-degree ice-cold beer. Try some of their made-from-scratch favorites like the mozzarella bites, burgers, or wings, all while enjoying the action. And if you can't make it in for all the games, that's fine too. Stop by for a man-sized $5 happy hour draft and enjoy select appetizers as well. And if you don't want to just watch football, Twin Peaks has you covered. They carry UFC fights every single weekend. Main cards, got it. Fight nights, they've got it. And if you're not into UFC, they've got it too. Start prepping now for your knowledge of the perfect March Madness bracket while watching college hoops with a beer at Twin Peaks. It's Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge for all things sports. Head into Twin Peaks, your home for eats, drinks, and scenic views.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
In office, West Palm Beach. The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
If you're in a car accident, truck accident, or suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine over at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are here to fight for you. I personally know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back no matter what. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Best in the business for a reason. Demand Anajar and Levine. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes, one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for your free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Don't waste any time getting back to the top of your game with the best accident attorneys in the area, Anajar and Levine. Take back control today. Jimmy Butler wants out. Surprise, surprise. What is this, the fourth time coming? He wants out. Irreparable relationship with Pat Riley. Bad move, right move. Should they trade him? Should they not? Let him rot. 888-760-3776. Give us your thoughts. That's the number to get into the program. That's 888-760-3776. And the flip side of things, it's a Friday edition of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Kapp helping us out over on ESPN 106.3, live from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, Florida. We got a packed weekend of football ahead. We got 2 games tomorrow with mild playoff implications. And then you got a couple games this weekend with big playoff implications. It's that you got the college football playoff, which is officially concluded with the Sugar Bowl yesterday. Notre Dame, how about that? Good pick, Christian Kapp, who had that game. Notre Dame giving up was it -1.5 for that? Were they favored?
Yeah, they bounced back and forth. It opened as Notre Dame -2.5. Predictably so. People loved seeing the SEC dog and the points. Swung to Georgia being the favorite, but it finished Notre Dame -1.5.
Colin, couple of things on that game. Georgia shot themselves in the foot with the ETN fumble. You know, their best drive of the game, arguably, was when they were marching right down the field, first couple possessions. ETN fumbles. And then the strip sack, and then to start that second half, the return for a touchdown. I mean, did Notre Dame have a offensive touchdown where Georgia just didn't shoot themselves directly in the foot? I could argue Georgia dominated that defensive line and even to a point that offensive line the entire game. And then lastly, the fourth downs. How many fourth downs was Georgia not going to get in that game? I mean, I understand you got to go for it. You're down. You have to score points. So, my God, Stockton could not make a throw for his life on those fourth downs. And I was listening to that SEC Network. I think it was Tim Tebow or one of those guys on that network go, Gunnar Stockton balled out. Did he? Like, he didn't make any throw on fourth down. The only throw he made all game was that deep throw down the field that they had to settle for 3 on. I mean, it was just an absolute disaster class from Georgia. Turnovers, shooting themselves in the foot, poor special teams, and terrible fourth down execution.
Bad coaching. He got outcoached. He got outcoached.
That was it.
That was it.
And literally,
bad coaching.
Everything I just said could be summarized by that. So I thank you, Colin, but my God, for Georgia to play that bad of a football game, thank God they're not going to be in the semifinal. We're done with them.
Outcoached Marcus Freeman, credit to him, because that team did not get in their own way, and they capitalized on every opportunity that was either given to them or they took, whether it be during the turnovers or even that sideline interference penalty by that walk-on at Georgia, the poor kid, Parker Jones, who was sitting on the sideline pretty far off from the sideline. I know that white zone on each end is technically for the referees and coaches, but the ref runs into him on that deep completion down to the 10-yard line for Georgia, and all of a sudden a 15-yard sideline interference penalty digs him back to the 20, had to kick a field goal and then miss it. Big turning point in the game when it was at zeros early in the second quarter. That, for me, I've never seen a sideline interference penalty. I don't think I've ever called. And you're gonna bring it out.
Hey, you're forgetting one on Thanksgiving night. Ravens, Steelers, Jacoby Jones on a return down the sideline.
Which is one of the most egregious calls. Like, he was on the field.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin.
I was at that game in the end zone that Jacoby Jones was running towards. No one in the stadium realized what happened until they showed the replay on the scoreboard. Mike Tomlin an inch away from him.
This was a little different because this was not impeding with the play on the field. And this was with a referee that was basically like a gunner on punt team running through the sideline and runs into this kid. And then he gripping his side. He's in pain, and then he throws a flag. What are you doing? What are you doing? I've never seen that called. And it was a pretty bizarre move. I'm not saying it had anything to do with the finish of the game, but it was it cost him maybe a touchdown. That's a rough call, referee.
And let's call
that's the story of the game.
Let's call it for what it is, too. Another terrible game. That was not a fun game to watch. That wasn't a fun game.
It was all right.
That was a change of pace.
First half was...
Why? Because of the shooting because of Georgia beating themselves, really?
With just the fact that it was Notre Dame, who always comes up small in these moments, coming up big against a behemoth
I think
Georgia.
There's a good story to the game because Georgia sort of got dethroned in a way.
But they were without their quarterback.
I don't know if Carson Beck makes all that much of a difference in that game.
Come on those fourth downs, guys, he does.
I don't know about that.
Come on, man.
I don't know about that.
He did against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And I understand Alabama's not very good.
How great was he in the first half against Texas before he blew his elbow up? How great was he then? How great was he against Florida?
He was good on the road.
He was incredibly erratic.
We're picking. Okay, all right. I'll agree with you there. Very erratic, but I think he picks up a couple of those fourth downs. My God, I think they find the end zone a couple of times on those drives.
The master of what-ifs. Every week there is a what-if that Mike Rizzo comes up with that a team wins the game if something happens.
Listen to me defending the SEC, something I never thought I would see myself do. They score a couple of times with Beck. I think that's like a 7-point game with Beck.
I don't want to give you guys a topic that you should provide, but I want to say this. 5, 6, 7, 8, all advance.
Yeah.
Is that proof that the playoff is working or that it's not?
You're going to have to wait till the 5 at 5 for that answer, Christian Cat.
Because those teams wouldn't be playing for a national championship if it was a 4-team.
You're right, and I did have it. I have that on the 5 at 5. Another thing I have on there, too.
All the favorites won. How's that? You're talking about the lower seed. That's a seeding problem.
Right.
All the favorites won.
I'm going to take it a step further, too. I'm going to even go to the BCS days. It would have been Oregon and Georgia. Gone. Finito. We'll see ya. I like it. And obviously, we're biased, Christian, for the teams that we have our allegiance to. But I think you could get the best team in college football to win the championship, right? The best team in this format probably wins more often than not with the BCS and in the old 4 team.
Yeah,
I think we'll get the best
What
one.
do people want? Less games? I understand. We've had probably, 2.5 total quarters of good football through, what is that, through 8 games?
To that point, I have a ton of buddies that, they have the take of, hang on, let me get my voice. They have the take of, there's not 4 good enough college teams year in and year out. You're going to go to 12 games. These games stink.
There's something to be said about that.
There is, but I am for it to what you alluded to. More football, the better. I don't care if some of these games are blowouts. That Arizona State-Texas game was really good. And I think there's something to be said, and I swear this isn't my scarlet colors showing here. I think Ohio State is proving that they're one of the more dominant teams maybe we've seen in college football when they could figure it out.
Well, I think that we saw with the Sugar Bowl, with Texas and Arizona State.
Fiesta
Bowl.
Get your Tostitos, Christian.
Yeah, or PlayStation like it used to be, or whatever it is now. It's cool that these teams are included because it's not just the best resumes season long, not the best brands, but the team who's playing the best football right now that can provide the best game right now. And that is the definition of what Arizona State brought to the table. They are peaking at the right moment, and they nearly pulled off an upset nobody saw coming.
True. And another thing, what was the big complaint about college football upward through the bowl era, through the college football playoff era? It was that when you lost, your season was over.
Yeah.
When you lost, any game you played the rest of the regular season, for better or worse, did not matter. And that was a big problem. Now, once you enter week 10, week 11, that there's 3 total teams that are still fighting with the undefeateds. So off of that, that was the major problem. So what does the Bulls, what does the expanded playoff do? Yeah, the games might stink. Yeah, there might be a big disparity in college football. But what did we see? We saw a bunch of important playoff implicating games towards the end of the year. That, to me, worth it.
Yep.
Better regular season. Yeah, it's a coin flip. It's a shot in the sky if the actual playoff will be worth it. But you wanted the more important regular season. You wanted more implicating regular season.
Right. And let's
Arizona State, BYU, meant some.
I'm going to go to the year Luke Fickell and Cincinnati made it. That team didn't belong there. That game was horrible in the semifinal. At least we might get better semifinal games. Now, there's a chance the Buckeyes blow Texas out of water. There's a chance that Penn State blows Notre Dame out of the water. But I think those games are going to be better than the Cincinnatis of the world that made it in years past.
That's a great point. It's going to weed out the weak. The teams that really snuck into the 14 playoff but shouldn't have been
you're
there.
Gonna earn it. You're going to earn it.
Christian, to your point, too, can you imagine Boise being in the semifinal? Like, Oregon would have ran roughshed on them. Now, and I know earlier in the year, Oregon struggled with them, but this is different, I feel like. This is a full year of college football. That was week 2 for the Ducks.
A week after they had Idaho taken down to the wire. So I can't deal with what I look for. If you want to make the season important. College football was a 3-horse race for 10 years, and it was a major problem because it was the same horses in the race every year. At least you're getting other horses in the race.
Right. To Colin's point, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, every now and then the Buckeyes.
Oklahoma flirting with it.
Right,
you
right.
You get 6-7 programs.
Right.
So now you could give the little guy a chance.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to squander it. Who cares?
Yeah, SMU. Like everyone yelling about SMU. Oh, the SEC team should have been in there. And I know we did this, Tuesday, Monday, whatever. We talked about the SEC teams complaining the kingdom come. Lo and behold, Alabama loses, and SEC got Bielmud. Yeah, that's a thing, by the way. Got Brett Bielmud. All right? So I'm with you. I can't take some of this stuff seriously. I like that these other small teams are getting the opportunity to do it. And who knows, maybe with the NIL, one thing we can say about the NIL, it's opened up recruiting a little bit. And more kids are going to a diverse places of schools. Does it need to be relegated? Absolutely.
And there's something to be said about what you alluded to earlier in that every single team who got the bye lost. Whether you want to chalk that up to teams getting hot and they're able to go in with some forward momentum, there's probably something to be said about that. There's something to be said about the seeding problem, how probably the wrong teams were the ones with the bye. What I think this will do, if there is a conversation to be sparked, is inevitably when they expand it. I think they will expand it so maybe either less buys or none at all. Make it a straight-up bracket.
Colin,
16.
Let me ask both of you this.
Instead of 14 with 2, make it 16 total and have them play fully out.
I was going to say, how many are we going? 16? Are we going 20?
Well, it's going to expand eventually. I'd be surprised if it went further than 20 because it's hard to get somebody interested in the 20th best team in the country.
And you would have to take some games off of that regular season. We can't go into February.
So if this bye is a problem in terms of establishing any sense of momentum coming off a home game, I understand that. There's probably something to be said about that. It's probably a part of the problem. All right, how do you eliminate that? Make the seeding straight up, give them an easy game the first game, make them at home, and let these teams develop some momentum, a little bit of a 20 run. They have plenty of time in between. So that would be my fix.
I saw the ticket prices for all of the games in this round, and they were relatively cheap. And people were saying these games should be played on college campuses. Do you agree with that? To give that team that had the bye should have more of an advantage than just the week of rest?
Now, Colin, if I could go first, make the quarterfinal on campus then. These games need to be at a neutral site. This is the semifinal. I would do the semifinal and the championship neutral site.
That's what he's talking. He's talking about the quarterfinal.
Yeah, make them at home. Absolutely, make them at home.
It does not feel like a huge game. The Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, that will feel like a huge game. The quarterfinal did not feel like a huge game.
This is why you understand why they're doing this. They want to keep these bowls relevant.
Right.
They don't want, with all due respect to Illinois and South Carolina, that game's not going to sell like the let's just say for the sake of talking the Oregon and the Buckeyes. It's not going to sell as better as that.
Yeah.
But then you kind of run into the problem where before it was the bowls being cycled in, whether they are playoff games or not. The more you expand the playoff, now the teams that are going to be in these prestigious bowls that are not playoff bowls, you're going to have the Illinois, South Carolina play in the Sugar Bowl this year. Or
they're never going to change it. To Mike's point, there's too much money at stake.
Right.
I don't know if a home game is if the juice is worth the squeeze of losing out on having fans travel to cities, having cities and stadiums buy the rights to the game, and then selling advertising for the game. We work with the Boca Bowl. There's a whole art to this. They don't necessarily have that flexibility if you're at Penn State. So it's all a TV thing. It's all a money thing. And those games probably did pretty good in terms of the ratings. Is there fixes? Yes. Is it flawed? Yes. Should we work backward to go forward? No. I think that's probably the good takeaway, especially with all of the lower seeded teams, the teams that didn't have the bye winning the game. All it is, it makes two things abundantly clear. The wrong team's got the buys, and maybe there's something to be said about getting momentum coming into that quarterfinal.
Right. I think the one team I think we could sit here and agree with that deserved the bye was probably Oregon.
Georgia,
right?
too.
You think so? With the 3 losses in the SEC champ, you wouldn't put in
2 losses, but yes, and they won the SEC championship. But Georgia, 100%. Hardest schedule in the country. They most resilient team. Nobody deserved it more than them. My book.
Okay. Just because of the gauntlet of the schedule.
No problem with that.
There's also the sample size is 4 games. We've only had 1 quarterfinal round ever. So what if next season, if they don't change anything?
It's great. Maybe it's great.
Maybe just the teams that did have the week of rest, it changes, and all of a sudden the guys that had the buys win the games.
Hopefully. If we're wishing men, yes, I agree. But the problem with the college football playoff is you don't necessarily always get that lucky. But it depends.
Are you the one who said it? Just add an extra team? Add an extra team for these 4 teams to play? Instead of getting a bye?
You mean expand it?
Yeah, expand it. Yeah, I thought so. Just then, if we don't want the buys, just add 4 to how many more teams we need for those matchups. So 4.
I don't know if
maybe it is 16.
Or maybe you just have to roll the dice. Every time you have these games, there's a hefty chance that 40% of them will not be even flirting with even coming close in those games.
And that always has been college football.
That's always been college football.
But the 14 playoff was really bad until the last 3 years. It was blowout after blowout after blowout, and then an Alabama Clemson Classic, then blowouts.
Yeah, and the semifinal games, there's probably a single-digit number of them out of what? Probably the 20 that have been played of the 14 playoffs. The 20, there's a number to it, probably 20-something.
Sure.
Of those games, there's probably, you can count them on one hand, the amount of great games you saw.
Right. To your point, outside of the Baker year, Oklahoma would go and get completely embarrassed every single year. The Buckeyes would get embarrassed by Clemson, what seemed like every other year as well. And then you had the year where Cincinnati was in it. That was the worst game that I've ever seen. Now, you do have a problem as well. You had one really stinker of a national championship game, TCU and that Georgia team with Stetson Bennett.
So, can't win them all.
Yep.
Yeah, and agreed. I'm looking at what some people think disaster of a first rendition of the 12-team playoff is and what it gave us. And I see blue blood.
These are great matchups. Don't get
These are historical brands that people care about. If you are someone who's 65 years old who doesn't watch much sports, you kind of know Notre Dame.
Dude, see, Kat, my aunt and uncle who have been watching college football for the better half of 40 years, they're coming to the Orange Bowl. They text me, they go, what a matchup. Couldn't have asked for a more storied matchup with Notre Dame, arguably the biggest brand in college, and Penn State. And what Penn State has been able to do with their program over the last 50 years.
I kind of want to talk about it when we get closer to the games, but what would be the best for college football national championship game out of these matchups? Because I think that it is not Penn State winning. I think that it's Notre Dame winning.
Yeah, of course.
And then I would contend that it would probably be Texas, just because you have 2 different regions competing.
Well, Texas, because they've been here.
100% agree.
I think Ohio State's a bigger brand, but I think Texas would be the bigger draw because they haven't won one since Vince Young. Agreed?
I guess because
Texas, quote unquote, Texas could be back.
Texas has to share their state with other brands, so that takes it away. Where Ohio State is Ohio.
That's why I
had two teams feeding for a title.
Yeah, I just Buckeyes bigger brand, Texas better story.
Better story and draws better. Like regionality is a big thing. You're talking about a team from Ohio and a team from Indiana.
I don't know, Kyle.
Right.
The ratings. Ohio shows up for the ratings.
SEC won't show up for the ratings.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll turn the game on. I think they'll replay the SEC championship game and say that's our national champion.
You need a representation of either side. So I understand talking about what games can do better rating. It'll be marginal. It'll be 13 million versus 16 million. But in terms of probably best for me to watch, I would say it would be best game would probably be Ohio State and Notre Dame. But in terms of because I think Texas is a little flawed. Maybe Ohio State's that much better than the rest, so maybe I'm okay with them losing.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll continue on the program here on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063. Got a big NFL slate. Week 18, get up into what playoff implicating matchups that we are into, if there are any single digits on that. NFL having a rough week this week. We'll get to that in a little bit more next. Stick around, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. There's sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli. And
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
She ain't gon' tie me down. Why you on the road? Lying on the shirts, all the hats, all the clothes. What you want right now?
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
17 weeks through the NFL season. Finally, week 18. There's a couple matchups, couple storylines, couple pieces, seeds still to be decided. with one more week to go, kicking off tomorrow with 2 games on Saturday, starting with the Ravens and Cleveland Browns, and then, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got a packed AFC North Saturday for those who are a fan of the Central North. But we will take and continue on here and give our thoughts on the actual implicating matchups of the week. It is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat helping us out, as always, behind the glass. Christian Cat, the shirt's fitting a little nicer nowadays, isn't it?
Oh, it's a medium. Believe it or not, it's a medium. I haven't worn a medium in a couple of years, and it's all thanks to Metrum MD, because in just 21 days, I'm down 14 pounds. Yes, you heard that correctly. 14 pounds in 3 weeks, all thanks to Metrum MD. I'm losing weight fast enough to stay motivated, and I'm not feeling hungry. I'm feeling full and energized, all thanks to Metrum MD. Go to their location in Palm Beach Gardens. Look them up online, MET, the word trim, MD.com. Get your free consultation. There's no better way to kick off your New Year's resolution than by losing some weight. It's healthy. It's medical weight loss. There's no tricks. There's no voodoo magic. It is all science. The team there, they're experts. They know all the answers. Metrum MD in Palm Beach Gardens.
How many appointment games are there this weekend in the NFL? That Viking Lion game is appointment television. Would we agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a game that, all right, you got to make sure you find time in your schedule to go watch. Now, for some reason, are we off the train that Denver and the Kansas City Chiefs might be a classic? Are we off that train yet, or no? Are we still on this?
I think the Chiefs might upset.
You took the Chiefs plus 10.5.
I think they're going to upset the apple cart. I think the Chiefs are such a well-run machine that it's just the organization, the coaching staff, the scheme that will make things difficult for Denver to punch their ticket to the playoffs.
Difficult or win?
I think the Chiefs, it'll be a field goal game. So I don't know, coin flip,
Whatever
but I think
it is.
they keep it close.
So you think they're going to keep it that close, huh?
Wentz revenge game.
I'm not. I can't believe you guys.
I don't know what the revenge is for, Colin. But this is the Wentz revenge game.
Yeah.
Society.
Yeah, maybe Denver beat him when he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is the Wentz revenge game. Colin, I also think Denver will probably win, but I think there's something to look at. They lost their last 2 games. They're falling back a little bit. They lost to the Chargers. I know these are all one-score games, all right? And they didn't play relatively bad in any of these games, but they have lost 2 in a row, and they're kind of reeling back a little bit. I just think anything is possible. I don't think they're world beaters either. Like, I'm not begging to watch Denver in a playoff game. I'd rather watch Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting, and I'm an AFC North guy. I can't stand the Bengals. Cincinnati's Kentucky as far as I'm concerned, but I want to watch one of the best to do it, and that's Joe Burrow.
You know, you're scoffing and turning your nose up and making a mockery of Carson Wentz. He's 32 years old. Geno Smith was 32 years old. If Carson Wentz goes out there, puts on a Matt Flynn performance that we saw do with the Packers.
What a great contract that was.
I'm just saying, we're seeing reclamation projects all across the NFL right now, and he could be one of those. He's motivated.
I am the one who said this is the revenge game, but I was watching a short. Colin, I stumbled into a short where it was Darren Sproles talking about his time playing with Carson Wentz. Wentz would never hit Sproles on a checkdown. It was always the tight end. And at the end, Sproles said he had a problem with coaching, too. He didn't necessarily listen to anybody, and he was very thick-skulled. But I think the more important thing about Wentz is, guys, he's a turnover machine. I mean, that guy is probably going to have 2 fumbles and 3 interceptions in this game, along with 3 touchdowns. Would we agree?
No. I don't agree. I haven't watched Carson Wentz play football in a long time. Maybe he learned something.
No, he did not. Did you watch him play for the
so
Commanders?
Hang on, Colin, hang on. Defense.
Colin, hang on. Colin, hang on. Did we watch him play for the Commanders? Did we watch him play for the Colts?
That's eons ago.
Eons ago. It was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago.
Hey, if there's one team that you can walk in as a quarterback and let bygones be bygones and perform, it's going to be Kansas City.
You're also under the assumption that Spags and Andy Reid and all the coaches are going to be locked into what Denver's doing instead of locked into their first-round playoff matchup or something like that, or who they'd have in the second round.
Have Mahomes get banged up this time of year, time and time again. We've seen snaps be taken against the Browns by Matt Castle.
Chad Henne.
We always mix those two up.
Chad Henne.
So who's to say they don't want their guy ready to go if the number 1 guy is out?
Colin, if Chad Henne were behind center, I'd feel a little better. I guess this isn't me believe. I don't think the Broncos are world beaters. I don't think that Kansas City is going to win the game. I'm obviously trolling a bit. I'm hoping that Kansas City can keep it close because I want a fun game to watch and I want Cincinnati to get a chance to make it because of Burrow. But if you're asking me who I would put money on, it would definitely be the Denver Broncos.
What's funny is, thankfully, maybe this is us grasping at straws, but with not a lot of playoff winning in games, there's a 1-seed game that obviously means something, that line game. And potentially there's something with one side meaning something, with having something to play for with that Denver game. But there's a number of games, at least in this weekend, that there are seeding implications. Now, the NFL is not necessarily the norm to care so much about who you play in the first round. It's really just get in and figure it out once you get from there. But the difference between the 3 and the 4 seed in the AFC, that's Baltimore and Houston. And the difference between the 2 and the 3 seed, that's the Rams and Philadelphia. Playing road games in those respective spots, I think, is a pretty substantial difference. Now, you get the 7 seed and the 6 seed in the NFC having to deal with potentially the Philly or the Rams, and the Commanders and the Packers, and they have the same record. So both those teams, in a way, have something to play for. Whether they will or won't is another conversation. But to me, maybe if we're trying to create a little drama, create something to get into, that would be something to get into.
More on a little bit piggybacking off of that. The Browns at the Ravens technically mean something. Now, are the Ravens going to win by 50 points? Probably. But the Ravens need to win the game to win the division. If they lose and Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh will win the division. So there technically is something to be played for in those Saturday games. And also Cincinnati. Like, I'm here saying Joe Burrow, I want to see him in the playoffs. He's a great quarterback. They must beat the Steelers at, it's not Heinz Field anymore, in Pittsburgh, regardless, whatever that monstrosity is called now. In Pittsburgh, they must win that game. So technically, the Saturday games do mean something.
Hopefully. Now it's a matter of, will each team show up and create a good game out of it? Maybe. Will the Chargers care? Will the Packers care against Chicago? Will Chicago care? So it's... Will they care? That's the question.
So, CCAT, let me get one thing straight. You're not chomping at the bait to watch Jags and Colts?
No.
You're not chomping at the bait for Jags and Colts and Bills and Patriots?
I think it's the bit. Chomping at the bit.
It's not bait?
I don't think so.
It's not like a fish chomping on a bait hook?
No.
Okay. It's bait.
No, not a lot of games excite me whatsoever, but when you put them all together, maybe we'll get some fun results.
Like we took the Buccaneers, like the games we bet on for our Punchline Picks where we compete against you and Theo Dorsey of Theoretically Speaking, loser has to do stand-up comedy. Like the Buccaneers, I'm rooting hard for Baker to win by 5 touchdowns, So like you could make anything fun by gambling on it on the Hard Rock Bet app, but I just don't see how many of these games I'm actually going to be laser focused
into. That Raven game?
Into.
I am not into this Raven game. The first game of the weekend.
Why would you be?
20-point spread. This is an FCS game.
You got Bailey Zappi. Zap.
I am not into that whatsoever. That's thick of the day on Saturday where there's no college football. Oh, my God.
See, that shows how much of a good product college football was this year.
That's when you take an interest in your family's lives. If you've got kids, that's when you strike up a conversation with your daughter. Hey. How was your break?
Well, if I had a daughter, I would say hello. If there was a time to do it, it would be during that Raven-Browns game. But I do not have a daughter, so we're going to have to find something else to do.
This was more of a message to the community as a whole.
What should I do instead? Should I do something instead?
Do you have a New Year's resolution you need to get a head start
Remember,
on?
the New Year's resolutions are phony. Do you remember?
Okay. You want a lifestyle change? Just do it. Don't wait.
He doesn't believe in New Year's resolution. Quite frankly, I don't either.
You ever watching the Mr. Beast games?
Oh, God. So you're into this, huh?
I'm not. My girlfriend threw it on when we had nothing going on, and I did watch a full episode, and he's an evil genius. He's probably one of the smartest people under 30 right now.
With, like, marketing.
Kyle, you could come over, and we could watch Squid Games, too.
It's a pretty good show.
I haven't even gotten through Squid Games 1.
Oh, dude. What are you? You're Mr. I watch everything.
There's 2 shows that people love that I've had trouble with. And it's Squid Games and it's Severance.
Why? Now, Squid Games, I finally made the transition to subtitles on Squid Games. It's a lot better. I used to do the English dub. Yeah. Now I do the subtitles. What can't, is it too gruesome?
I don't know. No. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't click with me. And I tried again. There a couple weeks ago, I tried again, and I got probably 4 or 5 episodes in, and then it's maybe I'll get back into Squid Game 1.
That's the music.
Yeah, that's the music.
That's the music.
For those who are not listening, that's
for those who do
music.
not watch Squid Games, a South Korean-based show, that is the music.
The thing is, it's kind of the recipe of stuff I like, and Netflix made a category when you like scroll on your TV where it's like life or death game. I kind of like that subgenre. There was a Stone Cold Steve Austin movie called The Condemned, where they took like 20 people that were condemned to death in jail.
If there's a Stone Cold Steve Austin movie,
it's a great movie.
It's not critically acclaimed. Let's put it that way.
Promise you, you would enjoy it.
Colin says this, but he's obsessed with that wrestler we saw in Lauderdale.
Randy Orton?
Yeah, he's obsessed
If Randy
with
Orton was in a movie,
he's in Condemned
I'm
2.
not watching it.
He's in Condemned 2.
All right, so this movie is
he's not
classic.
in that movie 2. He's in The Condemned 2. He's in the sequel.
Oh, they couldn't afford Stone Cold, so they went to the next best thing.
And one thing we found out about these WWE matches is no one leaves early.
Nobody leaves.
Nobody leaves early.
So, all right, I got to find something to watch. I got to find something to do. The weather won't be nice enough for the beach, I don't think, so you can't go there.
We are entering a cold front, I've heard.
Yeah,
so why is this like
68 degrees?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Is that
68?
Hey, we're going to reach the low 50s next week.
Are we?
So
Okay.
is this the time of the year where people in Florida and Palm Beach County will bring out winter coats? Is that what I should expect?
Yeah, if you've lived here your whole life, you will wear a winter coat. If you are a transplant, you wear a hoodie and jeans.
You own people in Florida who born and raised own a winter coat?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
For like the style points?
Oh, yeah, you can kind of disposable piece of clothing, so you don't need to wear it and zip it up all the way, and you travel. So, yeah.
A little fast to say, McCall, you don't game. I forgot that you don't play video games.
I don't have one.
I am an insanely big gamer.
I gotta find.
I'll be gaming.
I gotta find. If you have an idea of what I could do, maybe I'll like.
You could come over. Let's play some Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Play some FIFA Ultimate Team. Watch me scream at the telly.
We'll do some. I don't know. Maybe I'll go paintballing with Solo.
I'll play paintball.
You want to go paintball?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go paintball.
I'll play paintball.
They have paintballing here. Maybe we'll do something
right?
like that. I don't know. I was just thinking of something to do. Instead, maybe I don't know. The Ravens Browns is not that enticing, and
It shouldn't be.
And CCAT just did a terrible job at selling me on Squid Games on the whatever game, the Mr. Beast games on Amazon Prime.
What is what do you even like? I'm a gamer. I don't even.
Wait, you don't know who Mr. Beast is?
I know a Mr. Beast burger, believe it or not, but I don't know what he actually does.
He's an internet guy. He's a YouTuber.
Is he a streamer?
No, he's a YouTuber.
He's
So
probably a streamer.
No, he makes videos, and there are these big productions, and he will put like 100 people in like a box, and if you could say like an airplane hangar, and if like you stay there for like 2 years, so then he'll give you a jet.
Okay.
That's literally the games.
I'm all.
Like leave your hand on this Lambo and you get to keep it. Like that's the Mr. Beast thing, and he has an Amazon Prime like series now where I believe it started at 1,000 people, and I'm on episode 4 now. They've whittled it down to 60. Various games, various challenges, grand prize
Colin,
$5 million.
You there? Fair play to him, but not my cup of tea.
You're missing out. It actually is entertaining.
It's
I'll be
like,
honest.
hold on, you like Squid Games. It's like Squid Games
It's
with
the
real
exact same
people.
thing.
It's
It's
like
real.
It's like with real people.
I'll probably watch like Naruto or something. I don't know.
See,
I'd rather
I
watch
don't
my anime.
like. You can't play the old guy card and then throw on your anime.
Yeah, I can.
Here's
Dude, I
Yu-Gi-Oh!
grew
Like,
up with
that's
that.
two
Hold on,
different-
he just did this with Squid Game. I love Squid Game, but if there's real people involved, I don't like it.
I mean, but like Squid Games is different. Like it's like a horror. You know what I mean? Mr. Beast is just doing ridiculously stupid things, and like I couldn't.
But it's
care less.
real.
Okay, fair enough.
There was
But-
a bizarre one that I
but-
saw a video of where people are lined up in a straight line, and there's a disposable trap door underneath them, and there's 100 people lined up, and he just has 20 people at a time just fall through the floor.
They don't.
Very bizarre.
They're not dying, are they?
No, they're landing in a cushy
All
ball
right,
pit.
good. My God.
Very bizarre.
Okay,
Very
just
bizarre.
making
What should I
sure.
do instead of watching this Ravens-Browns game? We go to New Jersey. Kelowna, New Jersey. You're on Russo and Rizzo. Kelowna, what's going on? What do you got?
Hey guys, Happy New Year. This weekend with the Lions and the Rams, the Rams are resting the players, and most likely they're probably going to lose in Seattle, and that'll put them in the 4th spot. If the Lions,
That's something to
lose,
consider as well. That's it. Yep. Okay.
And listen, and the Lions defense is hurting, as we all know, and if they lose against Minnesota, then it's going to be the Dennis 5 spot against the Rams in the first week. And last year in the divisional round, they played the Lions beat them, but they played really well against them. So I'm kind of nervous for the Lions if the Rams lose and they lose, because I'm a big McVay fan. I think he's a great coach, and he's going to be gunning for to beat them, in that round. So I'm nervous for the Lions.
Well, that's
And
it.
also
That's
on
also
the
if the
college
Rams
football-
lose. That's also if the Rams lose. So keep that in mind. But go ahead.
Yeah, but they're resting a lot of players, and Garoppolo and Geno Smith is has a lot of incentives to win this game. You know, because he got a lot of bonuses if he especially if he wins and has a high percentage rate, passing rate, and all that. But my other thing is Texas. If the Longhorns make it to the national or even win it, U.S. played well, against Arizona. It beat Arizona, but they did play well. Where does he go? Because Arch Manning is going to start next year.
He'll go to whoever pays him the most money.
And I could argue, quickly from me, if he wins the national championship, someone's going to want to probably take a shot on him and draft him. And even if he doesn't go to the draft, every college program that needs a quarterback is going to want Quinn Ewers to come play for them next year.
And that's the beauty of the NIL. So,
you're the first person to ever say that, Cologne. You're the first person to ever say that's the beauty of the NIL. You're the first person.
Well, you know why? Because the Georgia game. Once Carson Beck went down, I thought, okay, maybe they're in trouble, or maybe it's going to be another scenario like when Alabama benched Jalen Hurts for Tua, and Tua won the national title. When the NIL, you cannot keep your bench. If you're a good player and you want to play, you're going to go elsewhere. So hopefully, the NIL will balance out the level field on these teams, and we'll get better games down the road in the playoffs.
Yeah, so good call, Cologne. Appreciate you chiming in. Cologne, the NIL, first guy to ever say that, probably the last as well. So he loves the NIL. But we got to close out the program here. We're not close out the program. We got to do some 5 and 5, and then we have a little Fat Jack, I believe.
Yeah.
Fat Jack is joining.
And hang on.
That phony. He's supposed to be in town.
Yeah, That's what I was going to. That's why I stopped the program. He owes Colin. He owes us burgers.
He does.
He owes us.
Fat Jack at FatJackSports.com. The gambling aficionado. You will hear from him at 5:30. We'll do a little 5 and 5 next. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Hey, West Palm, it's CCAT. You want to know the secret to losing weight now and how I lost 14 pounds in my first 3 weeks? It's Metrum MD's medical weight loss program in Palm Beach Gardens. Now, it's not a fad diet. It's medically supervised and personalized for you by the best team around. I'm down 14 pounds my first 3 weeks. I'm losing weight fast enough to stay motivated. The place is busy because people are seeing real results just like me. You're the next success story. Visit Metrum MD in Palm Beach Gardens for a free consultation or head to MetrumMD.com. That's M-E-T, the word trim, MD.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOVE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Join us on Saturday, January 11th from 7 a.m. to noon for a free lithium battery collection and document shredding event in Delray Beach. Lithium batteries that are disposed of irresponsibly are a fire hazard. These items should never be put into the garbage or recycling bins. The Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County is providing you this opportunity to drop them off and bring up to 6 boxes of documents to be shredded on site. Do your part, and a fire won't start. Learn more at swa.org/LIB.
Hey golf fans, Colin Russo here. Looking to improve your game? Flagstick Golf Performance, the ultimate indoor golf experience, is now open in Boynton Beach. With 3 indoor simulators and a state-of-the-art putting studio, Flagstick helps players at all levels up their game. Get lessons from experts, try the latest clubs, or just come up for a round in the simulators. You can track your stats and see real improvement. Flagstick is where serious golfers and beginners find their edge. Bring your friends or family and enjoy golf like never before. Visit flagstickgolfperformance.com to book your session.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSisyes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSisyes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSisyes.com. That's EDSisyes.com.
The South Florida Fair is almost here. Buy your advance tickets now and you can save up to 50%. Plus, if you use your discount admission ticket on opening day of the fair, you can keep it and visit the fair another day courtesy of Publix. That's 2 days of fun for the price of one.
South Florida Fair discount tickets are on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. Fair opens January 17 in West Palm Beach.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Enjoy our famous wings, new cocktails, and happy hour deals at the perfect spot to catch all the football action. Escape from the ordinary. Visit hurricanewings.com to find a restaurant near you.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
All the favorites won in the college football playoff quarterfinals. You got Week 18 coming up in the NFL. You got the NBA in full swing. Is Jimmy Butler still going to be in the Miami Heat? And this time in a couple weeks here, is he going to be rotting? Pat Riley proving a point. There's a ton to watch. There's a get into. There's no better time, really, to get started over on Hard Rock Bet. Go download it on the Google Play or the Apple App Store. Get started on hardrock.bet today. Hoops betting's in full swing. There's so many different ways to bet. If you're not the type that likes putting a ton of money on a singular game, put as little as $1 in and create a parlay. If you're not even sure what to bet, you can put on a popular trending parlays over on the Discover page that's built by other users. You could follow a bet, just a few taps. It's really easy to get acclimated. It's really easy to get involved. The app is so simple, and for the newer player, they can get acclimated really quickly, but it's also got a sophisticated side to it that isn't necessarily advertised as such. That the newer player, that the experienced player, really cares about. So it's got both sides in the Hard Rock Bet app. It's so easy to get started. December, January, this is the time of the year, really, where you're going to be watching these games regardless. You might as well sprinkle a little action on it. Go try it now. Get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That first bet can be a parlay, prop, the over, whatever they bet, any game you choose. You're the winner. Your first bet, get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. It's Hard Rock Bet offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888. Admit it. Christian Cat, of course, our lovely producer sitting behind the glass, helping us out on the ones and twos over at the City Place Studios for the second hour of Russo and Rizzo with Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. Let's do a little 5 and 5.
Number 1.
Quick on the trigger there.
Wow, a little early for Christian Cat. So once I gave him his flowers, said he's a lovely producer. expertly produced here as he pulls up our 5 and 5 questions.
You know, sometimes you're quick on the trigger, sometimes you're slow on the trigger, but right now I've got it to go.
There you go.
With the University of Georgia losing to Notre Dame last night, all 4 teams with first-round byes have officially been knocked out. They're gone. In the old 4-team format, those 4 teams would have been the teams to play in the semifinals. Even under the BCS, the national championship game would have been Georgia versus Oregon. Does this new 12-team format give us the true champion?
You play more games this way. You got to win to get there, regardless of your path or not. If people want to complain about Penn State's path versus Oregon, yeah, there's an argument there. But you have to play the games, and there's a reason you play the games. You got to play to win. So, yeah, absolutely. Ultimate champion based on the bigger playoff.
Excuse me. I definitely think that the 12-team gives the true champion. I think the 2 best teams right now, and it hurts for me to say this because I can't stand Notre Dame, or probably Ohio State and Notre Dame. Those teams don't even have a chance because Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois early on in the year, and the Buckeyes lost 2 regular season games. Without the new format, you don't get the 2 best teams that are probably in college football this year. So yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to them to making adjustments and fixing the whole buys and who gets buys. Are we even going to do buys? Are we going to add more teams? I think this is good for college football. I think we get the true champion.
Number 2.
Mike Vrabel is interviewing for the New York Jets head coaching position today in the Big Apple. Is Vrabel hard-nosed style of coaching just what the Jets need?
Well, now that there's still classic Rodgers, there's still questions about whether Aaron Rodgers is going to play next year. I guess he'll maybe figure that out in the next couple weeks. I wonder how Mike Tannenbaum, our lovely friend of the program who is helping conduct this search, how he's handling these interviews, because even the candidates are walking in saying, who's playing quarterback next year? Is it going to be Rodgers or is it going to be a different type of guy? And I don't even know if Tannenbaum has the answer to that. I don't even know if Woody Johnson has the answer to that question, which makes this an impossible job to interview for.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers has the answer to that question.
Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
I think Vrabel is exactly what this team needs. This team needs a good kick in the rear end. All right. Too much crap has been going on behind the scenes. Rodgers has been running the show over there, calling the shots. They need a no-nonsense guy like Mike Vrabel to come in there and really turn around. And if not Vrabel, I don't think they should bring back Rex Ryan. I think Rex Ryan is a great guy. I love watching him on ESPN. I don't know how he would coach in the nowadays NFL, but I do think they need a no-nonsense guy to kick a couple people in their rear end in that building and get this thing back on the right ship.
Absolutely. I agree with that because the Jets, it's not necessarily of getting the most out of what they have. It's that they need a bit of a reality check in terms of what they really care about player to player. And I think there's a big reality check that's in store for them, Rodgers or not. Let's go to number 3.
Well, speaking of the coaching carousel alongside the Jets, some more teams that are going to be in need of a head coach when the season comes to a close. New Orleans, Chicago, maybe even the Jaguars, Raiders, Cowboys. Which job will be the most enticing for prospective head coaches? And is there any team on this list that will not move on from their current head coach?
I'd be surprised if any of the teams on that list did not move on. I think there's probably going to be 6, 7 openings.
So the teams that I was nonetheless alluding to, the Cowboys, the Jags, like the teams that haven't moved on, and I swear that's not me trolling you, partner. The Las Vegases of the world, like, are we going to see any surprises or any of these teams?
The team in consideration there is probably Dallas. What does
Dallas do? It has to be.
Dallas has played hard for McCarthy. There was no doubt about that. They have played hard for him, but he's going up into a contract. It's expiring, his contract. So not only do they don't have a decision on whether to fire him or not, they have a decision to make whether to hire him or not.
And I think the shockers, I'm going to make another list here for us, Kyle. The shockers would probably be the Giants and the Browns. I think those are the other 2 teams that would probably the only 2 teams that would be in consideration to maybe get rid of their head coaches just because how bad it's ended with New York. But it sounds like they want to give, and Colin, for everything you're hearing too, it sounds like they want to give Dable the benefit of the doubt. So we'll have to wait and see.
Do the Dallas, do they keep McCarthy around?
My best guess is no. I think that the playoff game last year really hurt McCarthy. They were not ready to play. Jordan Love came in his first year as a starter and lit it up like Las Vegas. This year was a nightmare. Now, you could call the one thing McCarthy has working for him. You were without a ton of your pieces on defense. You were without your starting quarterback. and you have a chance on Sunday to win 8 games. I'll say that. They didn't quit on him.
Say what you want. This Cowboy season, all things considered, is probably a victory.
With Cooper Rush at the helm, I agree.
Probably a victory. Off of that, do they keep him around? It's a traditionalist type program or franchise that likes to keep their coaches around. Now, I think situationally, if he was still under contract, they'd keep him around. But because of the fact that maybe a mutual split is possible, maybe McCarthy doesn't want to do it anymore, maybe he wants to go try his luck elsewhere, I could see a mutual split just off the fact that there's an expiring contract at play.
Would you agree the fan base would lose it if they brought back Mike McCarthy?
I don't know, but what can the fan base really say? Yeah, you're talking about upside, but they played well this year for him.
Yeah.
They played well this year, and there's a lot of jobs open, and a lot of jobs with a lot more power that is going to be allotted to coaches comparatively to what Dallas has.
Right, and I'm tired of hearing and I am a culprit of it as well, this team is talented, But golly, bring someone in there that could do something about it then.
We'll see. I don't know. And as for the other ones, the most desirable job, Chicago's the easy one, but Chicago has front office problems.
And you got to be a believer in the quarterback, too. This isn't me saying Caleb Williams is a bum. I still think he could be a great quarterback, but you have to believe in that quarterback to go there as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting rid of Caleb, man.
I don't know what I'd chalk up as the best job. It's not the Jets. It won't be the Raiders.
New Orleans is in money hell.
Money hell. Jacksonville's an organizational dumpster fire.
Well, you do. And now here's the thing. You got talented players on your roster, Colin, and do you believe in Trevor Lawrence? If I'm going to say, do you believe, if you're going to take that Chicago job, you better believe in Caleb. Do you believe in Trevor Lawrence?
I think less of that, sure, a lot of that has to do with the quarterback. A lot of it has to do with what type of franchise they're walking into.
Right.
Are they walking into a franchise that's going to give them leash, that is going to give them power, that is going to stay out of the way, or are they going to be breathing down their neck? That has a lot to do with it.
We heard I asked Tannenbaum, what are some of the mistakes we've seen these teams make when it comes to hiring a head coach? And he specifically said, bowing down to the quarterback. In so many words, he said, making sure you're bringing in a guy that can, quote unquote, fix the quarterback or bring him to new levels. So I don't know what to make of the head coaching searches. Colin, I'm the complete opposite of Mike T, though. Like, if I'm looking for a head coach, I want offensive play caller who's probably going to be able to fix the quarterback, but I see his point.
Number 4, 3?
And 4? 4? Okay.
Number 4.
Well, the SEC now only has one team remaining in the college football playoff with Texas, if you even want to consider them SEC. Michigan won the Natty last year, and the Big Ten has 2 teams in the semifinals this year. Has the Big Ten closed the gap on the SEC?
It's hard to argue. Head-to-head, I would say no, because of there's more money that comes out of the SEC, there's more talent that comes out of the SEC, and there's better coaches that go to the SEC. But I think the Big Ten just had a year. They had a year for them. They had a year against the numbers.
They did the last 2 years.
Fair.
And 4 and listen, you can tell me they're meaningless bowl games. Fine. I think they mean something. 4-1, the Big Ten against the SEC this year in bowl games.
Then the SEC finished with what? 7 teams ranked? How many did the Big Ten finish with?
But that's my point is, like, are we overrating? Is the committee and everyone else overrating the SEC? Are we overrating these bottom end teams that would smoke these Big Ten teams? Because, like, we just saw Illinois beat South Carolina.
South Carolina lost 3 games.
My cousin's an LSU fan, and he screamed at me until he was blue in the face that South Carolina belonged in it. They were the hottest team to end the year. They beat Clemson on the road, this and that, and they laid a fat egg against Brett Bielema and the Fighting Illini.
There's something to be said about that, 100%. But who are we to discuss that a 3-loss SEC team should not be ranked, if that's what you're alluding to?
No. They wanted to be. My thing is, I don't think South Carolina belonged in the playoff.
Oh, fine. That's a different argument. But I'm talking about the amount of teams ranked. That's regular season resume versus postseason performance.
Sure.
Where do you stack that up? Big Ten just had their number this year.
My last thing on this. Saban retiring is hurting that conference. Alabama ran roughshod on that conference, so Kirby Smart and Georgia emerged. And now you're seeing the top-heavy teams in the Big Ten be better than the top-heavy teams in the SEC. I know we disagreed on the Beck thing. I think Georgia plays significantly better in that game and has a chance to win at the end with Beck. We could disagree on that. But Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. I think those three teams prove that we'll see what Ohio State does against Texas, but I think those three teams prove that their top heavy was better than the SEC top heavy this year.
Yeah, with this conference realignment, I think the pendulum is swinging, and I think that you saw a lot of weight being lifted and a lot of water being carried by the Alabama-Georgia in about a 2-decade stretch where the elite of the SEC were unquestioned head and shoulders better.
I want to come to
titles.
Yeah, quickly. I'm sorry to cut you off. Colin said it the other day. I mean, the SEC has been the best. They've won. They have the trophies to prove it. So that's why I said Saban retiring really hurts that conference and their dominance.
I think right now we have a more deep SEC, and the elite of the Big Ten are better than the elite of the SEC.
But, like, is that
the right way to put it?
And I guess you could call me a Big Ten honker, or you know what. Is that bottom half SEC as good as we give their flowers to? Are the Kentuckys as good as the Rutgers of the Big Ten? I don't know if that's true or not anymore. That's all I want to get out there.
Overrated? Sure. Better than the rest of the country? Probably. There's your argument. They have more money to play with. I mean, it's evened out a little bit. I think NIL has a lot to do with that because a lot of these northern schools have gotten the money to now compete with some of the southern schools that don't have the academic requirements to get in and paid under the table, whatever it may be.
Sure.
So I think they've caught up. But to me, if you want to run away with the bowl game, that Duke's Mayo Bowl, or whoever the hell you
Cheez-It Bowl.
Hey,
Brett Bielema.
Mayo Bowl tonight.
Hang on. Brett Bielema
was that
got...
tonight? Oh, was that not yesterday between Duke and Ole Miss? Was that a different bowl game?
That was a different one.
Dude,
I know we got Minnesota in the Mayo Bowl
Did
tonight.
you guys see the you-know-what match between Big Brett Bielema and Beamer?
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Beamer got hashtag Bielma in that game.
He gets stunned. Another one. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5 brought to you by Flagstick Golf. Jimmy Butler announced he would like to be traded and that he has lost his love for the game of basketball in Miami. He wants to move. He did not provide a wish list, but did say wherever he goes, he will turn the team into a contender. What should the Heat do with Butler?
Keep him. Bury him. Play. Don't play? Fine. We're paying you regardless. We're not going to go through cap hell and 100,000 logistics and get nothing of value out of it unless there's a very creative trade.
Do me a favor, because everything you said earlier I agreed with. Do me a favor and explain to everyone how much of a nuisance he's been for the other 14. What was your take? He was a problem in Chicago.
He didn't like the coach after Thibodeau. And he had problems with the coach. The coach wasn't playing him the right way, so let's get out of there. Then he goes to Minnesota. And all of a sudden, all the Minnesota players are super soft. And he doesn't like playing with them in practice. And they don't have championship mindsets. And they don't care enough to win. So get me out of there. All right, so he goes to Philadelphia. There's winning players there enough. Then he has problems with the coach. And, whether Brett Brown is playing him properly or not. Or they don't want to pay him enough money. And management and him had issues. He didn't know if he was the star. He wanted to be the star. All right, so let's get him out of there. So we had problems with them. And then he goes to Miami. All right, Miami, hard-nosed, rugged, best coach in the league, winning franchise, great management. They see an insurmountable amount of success, an undeniable amount of success based on where they were. Jimmy Butler is not to the levels of what Curry and LeBron are, so of course he's not going to compete to the levels of Curry and Jokic and LeBron. But he still competed. All right, now he's a problem there. So underlying variable above all?
Yeah, Your Honor, Mr. Cat. My lawyer, Mr. Russo, we rest our case against Jimmy Butler.
Who's the underlying variable? It's not the Heat's problem here. It's Jimmy Butler's problem. That was our 5 and 5, and number 5 was, of course, presented by Flagstick Golf Performance. It's the ultimate indoor golf experience. It's in Boynton Beach. It is now open. What is Flagstick Golf Performance? It's a unique facility. Has 3 state-of-the-art indoor simulators, a state-of-the-art putting studio. It has a tour-inspired build shop if you want to get re-gripped, different heads, you want to get shortened, lengthened, different clubs. They can help you out there. Andy and the team work closely with players of all levels who want to improve their game. If you want lessons with the simulator, take lessons from PGA professionals. You can get fit for new clubs. It really is an optimal environment if you want to take advantage of, I guess, the ton of data that the actual, the simulators give to you. Backspin and club face length and head and where you swing and the videos. All of that, I barely understand it all. But the professionals there, they understand it, and they can actually help you start to improve your swing in just basically a few tweaks. And the technology there allows you to do that. It's located in Boynton Beach. Flagstick offers memberships and daily access for all. You can visit them in person. Find out all the info you need over at flagstickgolfperformance.com. Go check out their Instagram, Flagstick Golf Performance. We talked to the professional, Fat Jack at FatJackSports.com. Give him our picks of the week. We're going to see what he likes, where the trends are, where the money is. We'll stick around for that. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Hey y'all, it's C-Cat. You want to know my secret to losing 14 pounds in my first 3 weeks? It's Metrum MD in Palm Beach Gardens. This is medical weight loss, not some cookie cutter program. Doctors and experts design a plan just for you. They even handpick food and supplements to cut hunger, burn fat, keep you energized. I'm losing weight fast enough to stay motivated, and I'm not hungry. The best part, that place is packed. The results are real just like mine. I'm already down 14 pounds in just 3 weeks. Don't wait. Visit Metrum MD in Palm Beach Gardens or go to MetrumMD.com. That's M-E-T, the word trim, MD.com. You'll thank me later.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
If you're somebody who likes to sports gamble over on Hard Rock Bet or something like that, and you think you have any sort of insight into what teams are going to be playing hard and which aren't, and these bizarre lines that Week 18 have, you're not fooling anybody. So that's why we got to bring in the expert over on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, of course. Join now, but none other than Fat Jack at FatJackSports.com. Number one, a gentleman who owes us burgers and still haven't heard from him. And number two, somebody who could give us the insight on what to take this week and what not to take. Mr. Fat Jack, how are we doing today? What's going on?
I'm doing great, actually. You haven't heard from me because I'm still west. When I get east, you are on my short list to go to the brass ring, who doesn't pay me a dime to say that, and take you for burgers for your Miami O or Ohio U or what are the MAC winner we got first of the year that was followed up by some non-winners. But yeah, I mean, we're going for burgers. Whether I owe you or not, I'm going to take you for burgers because you guys seem like dudes I could actually hang out with.
Yeah, we'd have fun, Fat Jack.
Should I close up my calendar for some weekend in 2026? I mean, how do you want to do that?
No. So here's the problem. The Rose Bowl was right down the street, and I had the two options to come all the way across the country, then fly back to Vegas to tape the TV show that I do on Thursdays, Beat the Odds in Vegas, or I could stay to the Rose Bowl and then go there. And then I'm going to tape from South Florida 2 weeks. I come in 2 weeks from today. What is today? This is Friday. 2 weeks from Friday today. And I'm there for 2 weeks. So you will see me in studio with you and eating brass ring. Mark it down the week after 2 weeks from today. I'm going to Oklahoma. I'm coming back out here to tape the show, the TV show. And then I'm flying from Vegas to the boat that's in West Palm. I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. So I'll be there Friday for 2 weeks.
Fat Jack, you mentioned the Rose Bowl. Were you on the right side of that, partner?
I was not. And I'm the only handicapper in the world that will tell you that. And I could do that because more times than not, I'm on the right side of just about every game. Here's what I didn't see, and not every game, but you know what I mean. All the results are posted. We're 10-1 this week in basketball, by the way. 9-1 in soccer last week. Everything's posted. Everything's documented. Go check it out. But I had over in the game, or excuse me, I had under in the game, and under the game. It obviously. Oregon showed up sleepwalking. And what I couldn't wrap my brain around, guys, and I still am in this same situation, Ohio State's quarterback, who had been a 7 all year, 7.5, played like a 10 in their opening round game and played like a 10+ against Oregon. I believe in regression. We talk about this in the NFL all the time. When a player shows you what he is for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden he goes out and he's dropping in a bucket in the corner of the end zone and hitting throws that he has not hit all year long. And if you watch that tape, that's what he's doing. Will Howard's doing those things the last 2 weeks. I thought after 2 weeks ago that he would regress. If he regressed, that there was some value in the line as Ohio State moved to a favorite. That would keep scoring down. What ended up happening is the thing goes way over because Ohio State scores every single time they've got the ball, putting Oregon in a must-pass situation. Ohio State's gone to more of a soft cover 2 zone, so the game flies over. So wrong in that, but I will tell you, if you don't know how to handicap anything, which is a lot of people do when they're betting, they should be doing great right now in the college playoffs. All right, because they're 8-1. Straight up, underdogs are. No, excuse me, they're 8-0 or 9-0. They're undefeated. Underdogs favorites are straight up, and they've only lost one as it relates to the number. So if you don't even know how to factor in a line, you should have done really well in the playoffs so far. Good news is I had a stretch before that where I won every day for 9 days straight in football. I had a bunch of easy bowl game winners. NFL is going great. We're ready for a big week. But no, I did not have the winner. And then I went over to Vegas, taped the TV show. Now I'm back out here getting ready for Week 18, which is an absolute landmine for most of the general public.
Yeah, so it's an impossible week. You said it. It's a landmine. It's an impossible week because teams playing, starters playing. It's impossible for everybody to keep track of it. But luckily we have a professional such as yourself to shed some light on this. We have a couple picks for you, and I want to kind of shed some light on what we think is going to happen. And then I want you to kind of take the floor here. First one that I think that we locked for this week in our picks is Houston plus 1.5. Houston, of course, doesn't necessarily need the game, but they need a good taste in their mouth going into the postseason. Plus 1.5 against Tennessee, a team that played them tough earlier in the year to begin with. I think they need to get a get-right game. They have a long week here. We like this pick. What do you think?
No, I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly. And the reason has nothing to do with who wants it more. It's not about wanting it. All right, it's about who's going to play and then how long they're going to play. So if you get the better – Houston on the front of the jersey and the team that's out there this year would be a huge favorite over Tennessee, who's covered, I think, twice all year. They've not covered a lot. Quarterback situation getting a little more stable at Tennessee. Here's what you got to keep in mind on these games. The players, the teams that have nothing to play for, that is only a fan's perspective or a general manager's perspective who is hoping for losses. We see where that gets you. Look what the Giants did. Giants are looking number one pick in the face. They go up and score 40 last week. The players don't give a rip about any of that. They are going to play for their contracts. They're going to play for their jobs. They're going to play for their livelihood, their family name, whatever. They're giving 100%. if you start showing up to a gunfight with a gun, and then you start taking the bullets out of the gun and putting in some dudes over there that are sitting because you're resting, that's where this becomes a tough spot, and that's what you're getting out of Houston. There's easier ways to clear through this. Tell me your second one, and then I'll kind of give you the way I look at things as we head into 18.
So, Fat Jack, one of our second games is, and we took the biggest spread of the weekend. We like the Ravens minus 20.
Minus 19 and a half.
Thank you, minus 19 and a half. They're facing the Cleveland Browns, who are starting Bailey Zappi, and they need the game. Like, they need to win the division.
Home field.
Yeah, and we're giving the Ravens a chance at 19 and a half here.
Well, and given a bunch of points, and I don't have a huge opinion on that, but if I was going to play it, absolutely, I play Baltimore. Here's the thing about Baltimore. Their defense is not great, so the back door will be open. If they put anything together from a game plan standpoint with Cleveland, the back door will be open. But Baltimore is going to score, and I don't even care if Lamar Jackson sits, they're still going to move the ball on the ground. So they're going to run it. They're going to move. So if you make me play it, I play Baltimore minus the points. I think I found some easier spots, but yeah, that Baltimore, their MO, and they're not the only one. Tampa's the same way. Teams that have just an okay defense, but a really solid offense, those are the ones you're okay kind of giving big numbers against teams that can't score against anybody. Cleveland, you would throw into that. Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas to a they're scoring more lately, but I mean Cleveland, Chicago for sure can't score against anybody. Las Vegas, another one. Those type teams, they're having trouble getting in the end zone against anybody. So then you're okay. What's the difference between 14 and 20? Really not much, as long as that back door, stays closed and Cleveland gives up late, which happens a lot of times in these Week 18 games. You'll have a team who's behind by 21 or 24 running into the line of scrimmage just to get out of the game. So I don't hate that. Here's what I do. I try to first I look totals, and then I look incentives. All right, who's incentivized to with contracts and different things where they might be able to get some help to score some more points based on their individual stuff, based on the relationship with the quarterback.
Okay,
it has nothing to do with play calling, but it has a lot to do with relationships. Look at Tampa Bay. Evans needs 5 catches and 85 yards, and it's hurt earlier in the year. 5 catches, 85 yards with Tampa to make a $3 million bonus. All right, so I know for a fact that Evans and Baker Mayfield are friends. Baker Mayfield was days in Oklahoma. I know him. I know some of his friends really well. And
he's going to get him that. He's going to get him that record. Yeah,
he's going to get it to him. He's going to get it down the field. Anytime he reads through his progressions, he's going to look Evans first instead of fifth. He's their deep threat. New Orleans, you're going to outscore New Orleans because they're not any good offensively. So I think there's a bunch of points there. So I like Evans over those numbers if you're playing props, and I like laying the big number because I think there's going to be more points than what the public would perceive. Another way I use that to go under, J.K. Dobbins needs 58 yards for $150K versus Las Vegas and has the bottom 5 rush defense in the league. He's gone over 58 yards 5 times this year. Another guy that was injured, now he's back. So I think there's some value in them giving the ball to him. He's going to get his numbers. It has nothing to do with play calling. It has to do with checking at the line of scrimmage, changing, and the relationship between the back and the quarterback. So who could kind of decide where the ball's going to go. So those are 2 things. So I'd go under in that game. Chargers under, Las Vegas under for different reasons. Chargers, Harbaugh was an under machine early in the year.
Yeah, he was.
8 of the first 9 games went under. And Las Vegas can't score against anybody. They're horrible offensively. So that's a good under. An over, I like Dallas, Washington. I like that to go over. Dallas has their best offense of the entire year is what they're playing right now. Over the last month or so, they've averaged about 25 points a game. Washington has been scoring. They're an over machine all year.
They want that game too. They want that game too because
exactly.
they don't want to deal with Philadelphia on the road that first round of the playoffs.
Now, I'll tell you this, in the sharp – and I kind of agree with you, but in the sharp world of gamblers, these are guys that play 25 to 100,000 a game. They do not believe that there's any value in betting teams for seeding purposes. They do believe there's some value in home field, obviously what's going on in Minnesota and Detroit. There's value in that. You're going to get everything out of both of them. And home field early matters a little bit. But seeding – they say don't even look at that. So I tend to agree with you. They'll start looking ahead, peeking ahead. Who we're going to get? Who we don't want to play that team. We better get this done.
I agree with you're 100% right on the fact that it's not traditionally a thing in the NFL that these teams really care about the season. It's really just get in and then just worry about. The Rams are doing that right now. Get in and then just worry about it when you get there. But I think with those teams, especially Baltimore, comparatively to Houston, And Philadelphia, compared to whether that be the Rams or Tampa Bay, are pretty substantial differences where you'd have to go. So that's the only reason why I brought that up.
And that needs to be important from a coaching standpoint. All right, how long are we going to play the players? How much are we going to put the gas pedal to the metal versus how are we going to rest our players late, how that works. So a lot of different things to look at, but try to clear away. The other thing, don't bet teams that have something to play for versus teams that have nothing to play for. That is the worst thing you can possibly do. It's like we pretend all of a sudden that these dudes the line setters don't have TV sets and they don't know the same thing. You're factoring in nothing if you're doing that. The guys that are playing for nothing are playing for their jobs and careers. The guys that are playing for something in Week 18, they're just decent football teams. These are not great teams, unless you're talking about Minnesota, Detroit. You haven't locked anything up. Notice how we're not talking about Baltimore and that, Kansas City and that, Buffalo and that. We're not mentioning the really good teams. We're talking about okay teams. Acknowledge the fact they're not that good. That's why they're still playing for something late.
So Fat Jack, let me ask you wouldn't take Tampa Bay. I love that Tampa Bay 13.5 point spread.
Yes.
Okay.
What about Green Bay over Chicago?
Under in that one here for two different reasons. Chicago can't score against anybody. All right, Williams, their offense has been horrible. They've gone under 9 of their last 10 on the road. 7 of their last 10 overall have gone under. Green Bay has to run the football to be any good. You want to talk about variance in a quarterback. When Jordan Love is able to get under center, drop back, throw in timing, and run play action, he's about an 8 or a 9 as far as quarterbacks go in this league. When he has to get back in the shotgun and everybody knows he's going to throw it, he's about a 4. It's a huge difference. But the widest variance I have as far as quarterbacks go that need the game plan to go properly, it's Green Bay because of how good Jordan Love is in one setting and not good in the other. And so this game will be for them to establish the run, get the ball to Jones, make sure we're leaning downhill, keep everybody healthy. Their coach does not care about covering numbers. This is a shorten the game, win against Chicago because that's always important. But you've got a team that's not going to really dazzle you offensively with Chicago, so under the total is the best play in that one.
Fat Check at FatCheckSports.com joining Russo Rizzo now. Fat Check, are you a New Year's guy? Are you a New Year's resolution guy?
God, I wish I was. No, New Year's resolution or New Year's are different. I'm not a partier guy on New Year's. I don't drink, I'm married for 30 years, so that doesn't help a lot. As far as resolutions go, I have one this year that's stupid, but I'm doing it so far. I'm doing 1 push-up on the first. I'm building back.
Fat Check, it's day 3. I know where this is going. It's day 3. Let's not. Let's pause the parade.
Listen, I don't need a parade. You can shoot down it right now. Everybody's going to give up by February. Let's just see at the end of the month how I'm doing. Well, we're going to dinner. Let's see if I've done 26 push-ups or not. 1 push-up on the first, 2 set-ups on the second, 3 push-ups on the third, 4. I'm alternating and going up with the days of the month. Going up the days of the month. So I've done 1, 2. So far, listen, I'm not throwing a parade right now, but I'll tell you that when we go to the brass ring, if I've done, that's going to be about the 20th, 24th. If I've done 24 push-ups and or sit-ups those 2 days, look out. Because I'm probably going to turn this sharp.
Look out for what? Look out for what?
Fat Jack, I am like you, Fat Jack. I used to be 350 pounds, partner, and I lost a ton of weight. You and I both know it starts in the kitchen, brother. It starts in the kitchen and what you put down your gullet.
I've been 210 for 6 years, so I'm not gaining it back. I now have a Shar-Pei attached to my stomach. I'll show it to you at the brass ring. I've got a I literally fold, and I'm going to tighten that up. I'm going to turn into a Weimaraner over this year. That's my. You
said look.
Compare fat pictures.
Look out for Fat Jack. Oh, he's coming in with his 24 push-ups.
That's right. Listen, the ladies at Peanut Island are not going to be able to stay off the boat. When I go on that back deck, Karen's going to need to hide the valuables because the women are going to be clocking. So,
absolutely,
God.
And it helps that you're rich too, Fat Jack.
That does not hurt. When you get on the boat, you got to use the ladder. So yeah, it does not hurt that you get on a yacht. If I'm married though, it does me no good. I told her, I said, listen, I'd get surgery, but you're a sure thing, and I'm not going to work that hard to.
Fair enough.
Work that hard to look better for nobody.
How about for her?
She saw me at 350. She's seen the worst.
All right,
this is a home run for her.
Fair enough.
So we'll compare fat pictures while we're eating burgers. So it'll be
sounds
good.
Good. Sounds good.
That seems a little redundant. Great job as always, Fat Jack. Appreciate you joining us. We'll talk next week.
$99 through Monday, $149 football and hoops. Add those other sports. 9-1 in soccer last week, or 10-1 in basketball since Monday. Everything's posted. Go watch, look at the results, get signed up, and win. Guys, have a good week.
See you, Fat Jack. That's Fat Jack at FatJackSports.com. Go check it out today. We'll give our picks of the week presented by Hard Rock Bet. Coming up next, it's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
My name is Luke Bryan. Country music is my life, and I want to share it with y'all.
It's All Country is now streaming on Hulu.
And with the help of Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Lady A, Winona Judd, Sheryl Crow, and Mickey Guyton, we're going to explore everything country.
You couldn't ask for anything more than that.
When everybody brings their story, it really becomes something special. That is the beautiful side of country music.
In the end, it's all country.
It's All Country. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and sauté. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Christian Cat, our wonderful producer over on Russo and Rizzo, fitting into the shirts a little nicer nowadays. He's got a big diet going on with Metro MD, huh?
Dude, I am glad you noticed. That actually feels really good. Yes, Metrim MD down 14 pounds in 3 weeks. Yes, you heard that correctly. 14 pounds in just 21 days, all thanks to my friends at Metrim MD. You got to go check them out in Palm Beach Gardens, Dr. Amorosino and the team. It is medical weight loss. So they have the answers. It's all science-driven, and it's all tailor-made for you, the individual. It's not a one-size-fits-all. They talk to you. They see what your history is. They see what will make you lose weight fast so you stay motivated. I feel full. I'm not hungry. I love Metrim MD because they made me lose weight and doing it with a smile on my face. I'm energized. I'm ready to rock. MetrimMD.com. M-E-T, the word trim, MD.com. Check them out at Palm Beach Gardens. Schedule your free consultation and transform your life.
We got a new segment coming up now, and this should be an interesting one because Mike and I are going to go head-to-head here with our friends over at Hard Rock Bet. We already make our punchline picks against the spread as a team. But now it's for us to kind of split apart here. Let's do a little picks of the night presented by Hard Rock Bet.
It's no longer Russo and Rizzo.
I'm going to trust the team that's undefeated on the road this year.
It's a meaningless game.
That's my 2 cents, Colin.
It's Russo versus Rizzo.
Let's talk this out. Why put yourself behind the 8 ball? What, for pride?
Reputations are on the line. Egos will clash. Feelings will get hurt.
Now I'm going to be very pissed off.
Who's a sharp and who's a square?
What did I miss? What in the hell did I miss?
Time for Picks of the Night. Russo versus Rizzo. Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
So picks of the night, where Mike and I are going to go head-to-head here. 2 picks apiece. We're going to be tracking this throughout the season. This could be anything. As long as it's -110, not a heavy favorite, and something on Hard Rock Bet that isn't necessarily lopsided, and we'll be tracking it and making our picks as the week goes along. Mike, you got one? Start us off.
You said I'm allowed to pick minus 110, correct?
Yep. Correct.
Okay. I'm going to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over the points tonight against the New York Knicks. Shai Gilgeous on my fantasy team, so a little rooting interest there. And he finished with 29 his last game. The games before that, 40 and 40. Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander minus 110 on 30.5 points tonight against the Knicks.
I'm taking a team. Houston Rockets are at home tonight against the Boston Celtics. They're +2 in this one at home. Why do I do that? With Boston playing so well, Boston's on the second of a road game back-to-back. The NBA team's worst nightmare. They hate that. It's always a little flat-footed. Be Houston +2 at home today against Boston.
I like that Rocket team this year.
Good over.
I really do. And I think the Rockets are like a team that has been floated around with the lottery for so many years. Colin, they finally have a lot of good pieces. You know, they got Jabari Smith. They got Jalen Green. I know I'm going to botch his name. I always do. Segun. Thank you. Like, they've hit on a lot of those lottery picks. That's why they're playing good basketball this year.
That's your second pick, Mike. You have a second pick?
The second pick for the night, I'm going to go with the assists for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Wow, so we got one. Hopefully, Shai shows up tonight.
He's going to have a game. He's going to have a game.
Twist an ankle in the second quarter. Mike's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with the assists with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. CK, you got the number in front of you?
I didn't know you were doing 2 each.
It's only one?
Yeah, it's
we
just
can do one. I thought we were doing two
No,
each.
it's just one. I'm sorry, Colin. You threw me for a curveball there.
Right.
I was making sure I was sweating there. I'm like, wait a minute here.
I was ready to take Rhode Island against George Mason in men's basketball.
Are you kidding? Dude, George Mason who went to the Final Four in like 2005?
I was ready. That was our Friday edition of Russo Rizzo. Big thanks to Christian Cat helping us out. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo will be back at it. Catch Mike this weekend on Saturday Tailgate. Catch me on Sunday Huddle. We'll be back at it Monday 4 to 6. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
The South Florida Fair is almost here. Buy your advance tickets now and you can save up to 50%. Plus, if you use your discount admission